Hey everyone, it's Kristen. So this is part 3 of the 25 most memorable moments in comic books. Granted, this magazine was published in 1998, so anything after that, of course, is not included in here. So if you have any of your own moments that you think are super memorable, please put them in the comments so I can look those over. And yeah, so we're on 12. I am sorry, but if I'm passionate about something, which is comic books, you should know that by now, I tend to talk a lot. And so I apologize that it's taken like 3 videos. Hopefully it's only 3 videos to get through this list. Yeah, I'm sorry. So number 12 is the death of Elektra. So basically, you know, she and Daredevil were a thing. She works for Kingpin. She climbs up the ranks to become his #1 assassin. And of course, Bullseye, who used to be the #1 assassin, that does not sit well with him. So he escapes from prison. He hunts down Elektra and basically, kills her. She was she was a super popular character at that time. He grabs her sai, her signature weapon, and like just runs her through. And she crawls from that point to make her way to Daredevil's apartment, only to die in his arms. I mean, talk about a tearjerker. Oh, that's just crazy because just to have, someone you love, even if you're not together anymore, just to like die in your arms, that just, of course that wouldn't sit well with anyone. Number 11 is the Thunderbolts revealed as the Masters of Evil. Okay, this storyline I definitely remember vividly. I loved the Thunderbolts. I thought they were awesome. They were the new superhero team in town. Like, I loved Songbird the most. She was so cool. Like, she had, basically sonic waves like that she projected from her voice, and I just thought that was really cool. And it was like touted as the next Avengers and stuff, with all new heroes. But like, you see that what happened is Baron Zemo, who is like a super like villain of Captain America mostly, he takes off his mask to reveal himself, to be Baron Zemo, and the rest of his team are revealed as the Masters of Evil. Like, Songbird is revealed as Screaming Mimi, which I was like, oh, no, because I loved her. I mean, she had like the wings and everything, and I thought that's so cool because like ever since I was little, I always thought it would be really cool to fly. Like, I even asked my parents for wings, like at Christmas time, thinking that they could actually do that, so I'd be able to fly. Anyway, but I was just like, that shook me. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. So there you go. So we're down to the top 10. Yay! Oh, and we were talking about this earlier. 10. The death of Gwen Stacy. So basically, Spider-Man's fighting the Green Goblin, and Gwen, is concerned about him and goes after him. Well, I mean, not goes after him, but like is kidnapped by the Green Goblin, and apparently Spider-Man has the flu, so he's not feeling like his usual self. He's a little bit, not as sharp and not as fast, and basically Green Goblin just like kicks off Gwen off the bridge, and he tries to save her. And okay, there's a huge debate in the comic book community Okay, let me see if you can see it. Okay, you see her, and you see he caught her, and then you see the snap, like it says snap. So you're not sure if the process of the fall snapped her neck and killed her, or if by like Spider-Man grabbing her, of course he didn't have a choice, grabbing her with his web, like if the impact of that being pulled back like snapped her neck. And of course, there's a debate in the comic book community still to this day about like what happened exactly. And that's from 1973. That was like, I think the first major death in comic books that actually like stuck and is remembered for that. And of course, Spider-Man gets really upset, and says, "You killed the woman I love, and for that you're going to die." The next one that people still are in disbelief about is when Joker shoots Batgirl in the Killing Joke and paralyzes her. He doesn't know it's Batgirl, of course, but he basically he wants like revenge on Commissioner Gordon. So he comes to the door. She opens the door. There's no words. You just see the panel of him holding the gun out and her being shot through the midsection. And so basically she's paralyzed and she never walks again. And she actually is now Oracle, like a computer tech savvy genius who helps out. But yeah, no one saw that coming, like at all. And that was 1988. Like still today, that's one of the most iconic storylines, like in comic book history. I honestly believe that. In number 8, okay, you think of Captain America, like Superman to me is like the Boy Scout of the DC universe. Captain America to me is the Boy Scout of the Marvel universe. So this happened in 1980. And you see it says decapitates Baron Blood. So he kills someone. Basically, he knows that in order to save the people around him, he had to do something. So basically, he felt like he was out of options and he didn't know what else to do. So he grabbed his shield and, based on what he knew about vampires, like, decapitated him. I mean, he knew he had to do it, but he didn't want to do it. Because, I mean, it's Captain America. I mean, that as a Captain America fan, that kind of sticks with you. You're like, oh, ouch. So he has killed before, even though you think of him as this Boy Scout, especially from the Marvel movies, like the whole language thing. That's really funny. But it's true. That's like the essence of who he is. Number 7 is Wolverine, the death of Wolverine in the Days of the Future Past storyline, where in the future the Sentinels basically rule the country, and they are capturing and killing all the mutants, so to the point where there's none left. And here they talk about the fastball special where Colossus launches Wolverine at the Sentinel in the future, hoping, he can disable it. But the Sentinel's that much faster, and he just blasts him, and just all that's left is a adamantium skeleton. And I mean, if you haven't read that storyline, that's from 1980. It's a really good storyline. You really should. They have reprints of that, so that's available, which is not expensive at all. So if you want to, you should read that storyline because it's a really good story. Like, it's one of my favorite X-Men storylines and one of the most iconic storylines for the X-Men. Um, so, six is um, from the Kingdom Come story. Basically, it's kind of like an alternate timeline storyline issue where basically Captain Marvel has been brainwashed by Lex Luthor, and like a lot of the supposed good guys are actually bad guys, and so Superman, he ends his 10-year exile and reforms the Justice League in order to put everything right back with the world. Um, and so basically, Luthor orders Captain Marvel to break everyone out of prison. And so there's this huge unruly mob, basically, that break out, and they to crush the incoming Justice League. But when right when Superman's right like inside of the prison, Captain Marvel comes and slams him out of the sky, and basically like, hey, you have to deal with me first. So, okay, one of the most like iconic things ever in comic is definitely when Spider-Man, and this is number 5, discovers the burglar that killed Uncle Ben is the one he refused to stop. When he was trying out wrestling in this persona of like, hey, I'm going to be a wrestler, I'm going to make money. And the wrestling promoter's like, hey, stop that guy. And he's like, what do I care? You wouldn't give me my money, so I'm not going to help you. And then later he finds out that this same guy who he let slip past is the guy that killed his uncle. Like I said, it's just, that is definitely a shocking moment where you didn't expect that. Number 4, Wolverine emerges from the sewer. Oh, and that actually, the Spider-Man is from 1962, like right when he first like came onto the scene. Just part of his origin story. That's why he is the way he is, I believe, because he at some part of him definitely feels like it's his fault. Like he could have stopped him, and so that's why he fights so hard for everyone else. Is that he could have stopped that from happening, but he chose not to. With great power comes great responsibility. That's like a Spider-Man quote. Number 4 is Wolverine emerges from the sewer. This is Uncanny X-Men 132, April 1979. And this is basically, this is after the Phoenix Saga. Jean Grey has become Dark Phoenix and being manipulated by the Hellfire Club. They have taken all the X-Men captive, and Wolverine is smashed through 5 levels or 5 floors of the Hellfire Club, swept away into the rapids of the New York City sewers. The Hellfire has all the other X-Men, and they're like, well, you'll wish you had perished with Wolverine. In the issue's last few panels, you see this hand reach up, and you see Wolverine emerge, and he says, okay, suckers, you've taken your best shot. Now it's my turn. And that's why we like love Wolverine, because he's just like so like just, I don't want to use the word plucky because that sounds weird, but he's just like this, hey, I will just keep coming at you. Like, you can try to take me down, but I am going to win. I'm going to have the last laugh. And that's just like, to me, I think that's one of the reasons people like him so much, is, and why he's so iconic, is that he just has that attitude of, hey, I'm not done fighting. I still have all this fight left in me. So I think that's why, like, he's just been as popular as he has. So the number 3 is from the Phoenix Saga. So you have 4 is from the Dark Phoenix Saga, 3 is from the Phoenix Saga, which is awesome. because, you know, I love X-Men. Everyone knows this. um, and she actually, Jean Grey, like, gains control of herself because, of course, the Phoenix is inside her, like, fighting with her for control. And so she gains control of herself, and she basically kills herself. And in front of, you know, all of her teammates and stuff. And what it says is, you know, if even one more person died at my hand, it's better this way. Click, clean, final. I love you, Scott. A part of me will always be with you. And he's like, Jean, no, don't, no. And she yells out, Scott, and he yells out, Jean. I mean, you know, that's 1979, and it's iconic in that, you know, another, like, death that happened. Of course, her death is now kind of a joke because she's died and been resurrected so many times that people are like, okay. But at that time, like I said, death meant something, and it meant that, holy cow, you know, she died. I can't believe it. So, I don't know if you guys remember, like, Watchmen or have seen the movie. So this comes from Watchmen 11, 1987. I am not going to try to pronounce that name because I will probably get it wrong. So we'll just go with that's what his name is. So basically, you know, like, government agent comedian was murdered. Dr. Manhattan leaves Earth because he thinks that he's given all these people radiation poisoning. Rorschach was framed and imprisoned, and so all these acts were put into place in order to create, like, almost World War III. And basically, you know, they're giving people a common enemy, like space aliens. And basically behind it all was this guy, the guy's name who I can't pronounce. His name's Adrian. Basically, like, it doesn't even you know, you don't even understand why, like, exactly he did it. I mean, because, like, I think the thing that's so shocking about this is that he used to be a hero, and he was the one that manufactured this alien being conspiracy theory, removed all of his enemies or people that could stop him from the picture. And he was ultimately going to teleport the alien into the heart of Manhattan, instantly killing itself in the entire city, or half the city in the process. So when, you know, Night Owl breaks Rorschach out of prison, and they discovered his, you know, what he's about to do, they basically, the guy laughs at him, and they're like, when were you planning to do it? Like, why? You know, Night Owl, and he's like, do it. Like, do you seriously think I'd explain my master stroke if there was even the slightest change of you affecting the outcome? I did it 35 minutes ago. I think that's so shocking because we're so used to the hero winning. We're so used to the hero stopping the villain. Like, the villain will, you know, do their monologue and explain the whole thing, and that gives them, the hero, time to figure out how to stop them and stop them. And so this whole thing, I think, was shocking because he's like, I already did it. There's no stopping me. I already did it. It doesn't even matter. So I think that's why it was so shocking because, yeah. Okay, so another, like, really iconic, well, we'll reveal number one in the next video. The last video, I promise you. This one's running a little long, and I know people don't usually, like, watch videos if they're super long, so I'm just gonna run into the next one, and I hope you join me for that one. Until next time, bye.